everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Jill and today I'm going to be doing the Bookmoji challenge. So let's get started. So as you could probably gather, this tag basically pairs emojis with books. So I asked you guys on Twitter to send me an emoji or two and so many people responded. Thank you to anyone who sent me emojis and most of you guys actually sent me more than one. And so in order to get through as many as I possibly can, I'm just ended up choosing one emoji from each person. And if I don't include your emoji in this video, I'm sorry. I just, I got a lot of responses, so I can't include absolutely every single one. But yeah, let's just get into it. The first one I have is a simple red heart, and for that I decided to go with the Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. One, I decided to go with that because the red heart looks very aesthetically pleasing with this book, and also because I have such a deep love for this book and also what this book does. So this book is inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement. It follows a black teenager named Star, and one of her really good friends actually gets shot and killed by a white police officer right in front of her eyes, and it follows the implications of that and how she has to deal with this and how the community deals with this. And I read this during the booktubeathon and I just absolutely fell in love with it, and I have such a deep love, like I said, that this book exists at all, because in this moment in time it is so essential that there be books like this for people to read and get educated on. And so yes, I have lots of red heart love for this book. Next up is an emoji I call like the star zip thing, and I decided to go with the 1000th, okay, this is such a struggle. You guys know I cannot pronounce this title. The 1000th Floor by Catherine McGee. And I think the reason why I did this was, one, okay, again, it looks really aesthetic with this cover. I'm just really into aesthetics lately, okay? Also, this does take place in like a 1,000-story tower, so it's like, in the sky, and it's very like technical, and it's just, I don't know, it just really gave me the sense of like the star zip kind of emoji thing, because I don't know, it's just very futuristic and cool. And yeah. Next I have the sort of meh emoji, and for this I decided to go with Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. Now don't hate me. The reason is because yes, this book was kind of meh to me. Now, I did see the vast potential that is from this book, which is why I've continued on with the series. I still haven't read the third book yet, but I read the first and second one, and I'm definitely going to be continuing on, because even though this book was not completely the best, I still liked where it was going. I think the main reason why I was sort of meh was just because I didn't really connect with any of the characters, and I thought that it was really cliche in my opinion. So I know that this is lots of people's favorite series, so don't worry, I'm going to continue on. I might still end up hating the rest of the series, but I am still giving it hope. Next up, I got a music note emoji, and automatically the first one that came to mind was the entire Infernal Devices trilogy because of Gem. Now, if you guys know me, I am a hardcore Gem shipper. I do not like Will Herondale. You know what? Fight me, come at me. I don't like Will Herondale. I love Gem, and so I just love that he plays the violin, and just thinking of the Victorian era in general just screams music notes to me. I don't really know why. Yeah, so just the music note automatically made me think of Gem because he's such a precious little violin player. Next, I got the little purple like devil thing, Maduber, that's what I call it, and the book that automatically came to mind for this was Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. And again, I don't really know why. I mean, the main reason for the devil thing was because of the Darkling from these books, but I honestly did not adore this series very much. I love the Crooked Kingdom duology. I just really didn't like, because I didn't like any of the main characters, but the Darkling was pretty great. Like, he was probably my favorite part of this book. But yeah, when I think of like, I don't know, for some reason when I just saw that emoji, I automatically thought of this. Next, I have the little ZZ sleeping emoji thing, and for that I'm going to go with The Diviners by Libba Bray. I mentioned this book in the books I'll probably never read tag as a book that is just so long, and it just is very, very slow. And I know lots of people in the comments of that video told me, well, the audiobook is really great and then the next book is great and that I should continue on, but this was so boring to me, and I know that the audiobook is better, but just sadly I just didn't have access to the audiobook when I was first reading this, so whenever I think of this book, I just think of me falling asleep while reading it. I'm sorry. Next up, I have a little cat heart emoji, and for that I'm going to go with Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Again, I think we can see a trend here. I'm not 100% sure why, but when I saw that emoji, that just screamed at me that it was heartless. I guess it's because it does follow Queen of Hearts, and it also has the Cheshire cat, so it's like cat and like the Queen of Hearts kind of thing. Okay, but honestly, this book is fantastic. Please read it if you haven't. Next, I have my most used emoji, and that is the laughing, crying face, and for that is, I wonder if you guys can anticipate what this book is by now, but I'm gonna go with The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I have mentioned this book so much on my channel, I feel like I don't even need to give a summary of it. It's fantastic. It's follows a bisexual main character in the 1700s, and it's so freaking hilarious, and by page 2 I was laughing so hard that I was crying. Honestly, this book just was so funny to me. It was hilarious. I love this book. Next up is the little ghost emoji, and guys, we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back. I haven't mentioned this book in a few videos now, and I miss it. I miss it. She's back! She's back! I'm gonna go with Strange Dreamer by Laini Taylor. Now, this might seem a little weird if you haven't read the book yet, but you know what? If you have read the book, you will know how the ghost sort of ties into this book. And yeah, I missed talking about this book and gushing about this book, so I wanted to bring it back. This book is like my favorite book of the entire year. I love it so much. Like, I really want to reread it now because I literally miss it so desperately, and it just my heart and this book, I love it so much. Next up, I have the star emoji, and for this I decided to go with Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. One, because it takes place in space and stars, you know, you feel me? And also because this book is fantastic, and it's one of my favorite books of all time, so it deserves all the stars in the universe. Like, it is way past a 5-star for me. This book is a sci-fi book, and it's told like completely in files and pictures, and it's fantastic. Next up, I have these sort of like laughing, worried, you know, like this kind of thing, which is another emoji that I use quite a lot. And for that, I'm going to go with Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow. This comes out October 10th, and I just finished it, and let me tell you, this emoji was the face that I was making the entire time while I was reading like the last third of this book, because it takes this extremely dark turn, and oh, it was so good. Guys, like, I'm gonna be talking about this book forever. It's basically a twisted Asian inspired version of the evil queen from Snow White. It's not Snow White, but it's like follows the evil queen from Snow White. I feel like I've said that for every single summary of this book, but it's true, and it gets really dark in the last third, and it's so good, and I was screaming the last third of this book because it was so good, and all these connections were being made, and I love the concept of this book and everything. Next up, I have the sort of death skull emoji, and for that, I'm gonna go with Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. One, because this book killed me. Two, because of something that you read about. If you've read this book, you'll understand. But mostly because this book killed my soul, and I cannot handle it. Okay, but it was just announced that Queen of Air and Darkness is gonna be coming out next year and not in 2019, and I wanted to throw a party because I was like, how am I gonna wait 2 years for the sequel of this book? Like, there is no physical way that I could wait 2 years, but now I only have to wait 1 year. Is that better or worse? I don't really know. And the last emoji I'm going to do is the classic stack of books emoji. And for that, I'm going to be going with Words in Deep Blue by Kath Crowley. This is an adorable story following 2 characters. One of the characters' family actually owns a little tiny bookshop, and in that bookshop there's a section of it where you can go and write letters to people in the books, and you can annotate the books, and I loved the entire concept of this book. Like, it's extremely bookish, and it makes references to a lot of different books, and whenever I think of like a bookish story, this is definitely really high on my list. So there you guys have it. That was the Bookmoji challenge. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you to everyone again for sending me emojis on Twitter. I have all my social media linked down below if you guys want to follow me on those platforms. Subscribe if you were new here, give this video a like if you enjoyed, and comment down below your favorite emoji and what book would pair with that emoji. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and I will see you guys later in another video very, very soon. Bye, bye, bye!